Yeah,
I thought you were dirty.
I am dirty. This is not a rolling start before everybody starts complaining. It's a rolling start. I get all confused. It's Patrice O'Neal. And thanks for coming out. I appreciate you doing this, man. It's been
You're one of the top 5 podcasts in the world right now, aren't you?
I started number 1, and I was looking at the iTunes charts, and my wife came, and she.
And you lose to Bill Burr quite often, I'm sure, right?
No, Bill. I like his podcast a lot.
Bill is playing Carnegie Hall, man.
It's part of the festival, though.
But it's Carnegie Hall.
Right, but I mean, it's not like he... and I love Bill.
You can't do nothing with complete credit.
No.
I
would completely give Bill credit.
It's just really cause of a lot of factors.
So's Tom Arnold. So's John Panette. It's part of the comedy festival.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, Tracy played Carnegie Hall. That surprised the shit out of everybody.
That's true. I'm like, damn. I thought it was his podcast. That's why
I really like Bill's podcast. It's one of the few that I actually put into my iPad. I listen to like on planes and when I'm sitting in trailers doing nothing.
So people are gonna be angry at this because Joe Rogan. I don't think Joe Rogan reached. I think people were like saying I should do Joe Rogan's, and then, I did Mark Maron's. This will be my second podcast.
All right.
I know Robert Kelly's been trying to get me on his.
You know what, dude? You come by, you get a coffee.
But he's not, like, you set it up. That's the thing about when you're, like, meaning Bobby asked me to do it, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But it's never getting done.
Is that your phone or Voss's car?
It's like you're getting it done. I think.
How? Because I said a time.
Well, because you go. It's like So let me turn this off. Sorry, that was Frosty saying he can't make it.
I didn't know he was coming.
He wanted to come in.
I don't want him. It's just we got enough people in here. We got exactly the amount of people we need.
None.
Exactly.
Well, my girl's here, but
Vaughn and Mabel.
Yeah.
And room service coming up with crab cake. So I get it done how?
You got me in
comparatively.
Yeah, it actually happened. So that's why. It actually happened. Bobby wants me to do it, but we never get it done. So I think Bob might be a little mad because he asked me to do it.
How was Maron's?
It was interesting. I didn't know. I just, I was talking to Maron. Me and him have this, me and Maron got it's a weird thing because I
love-hate relationship?
Nah.
He hates me, I kind of like him, but then he likes me at the last second relationship?
Nah, he's a weird dude like that. I understand what that means. But he's one of those dudes, man. I mean, you're one of those guys. Colin's one of those guys. I'm one of those guys. Maron's one. I'm trying to think. Attella's one where people are very nervous. And intimidated. People are intimidated by Maron. I'm not particularly intimidated by him. I like Maron.
I've heard that about me, and I never understood.
When I met you, I thought you was a complete and utter asshole. Like complete.
I was.
But it wasn't, to me, I understood what that is.
But that's right there is what turned the battleship around in the harbor. But Bert Kreischer was on the podcast and he goes, I don't think people understood the Tupac that lived within you until Nikki gunned him down on Flamingo Boulevard.
Who, your woman?
Yeah. I was always angry and playing catch up.
Look, I understand that. That's why I don't judge dudes that have that. Cause I told a lot of people, I said, if I don't talk to you, then I don't like you. If I'm not teasing you, if I'm not busting your balls, as white guys say, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not doing that, I don't like you. I don't have words for you is when I don't like you.
Right.
But when I like you, I'm fucking with you. So even if you meet, Voss does it. He'll give somebody $1. It's insecurity.
Headliners are talking here, please.
I always thought funny dudes were funny.
Do you think that's an East Coast comedian thing? Because the LA comics, they act like you just came in and pissed on their comic books. But you and me, we talked about this a little bit on the phone. It's like we would walk into a room and go, look at these 5 fucking assholes sitting at this table.
Can you hand that to her? She needs it more than I need it.
We'll walk.
Thank you.
We'll walk into a room and say, like, look at these fucking jerks sitting here, like, just to guys, like, and we'll know one of the 4 guys.
Cause look, I never understood how you can be funny without being funny. Meaning, I've had people, I don't know if it's like people who get into a mental jousting thing with you, like, and it's supposed to be funny, but you don't like each other.
Right.
Like this thing that you did. Now when I say about you, I have to say I understood it, but my thing was aggression. You were aggressive.
Yeah.
Your thing was aggression. Like
I can tell you why.
With it. It wasn't that you was fucking with me. It wasn't you was, that was the thing. It was aggressive where you go, is this dude trying to make sure is he trying to get a position?
Right. But at the same time, I was doing what everybody else was doing. I was just doing it more.
Now, do you feel you was doing it when you were doing it? Was it a purpose, or were you being malicious, or were you being purposeful, or was you being just you and just being you?
It was me, and it was because it's like I was always 2 years younger than everybody on my street.
Okay.
And when I wrestled at 105 pounds. So all the guys that weighed like 118 kicked the shit. Like when you get beat up by 120-pound guys, like they're real men. Right. So by the time, and then when I did open mics, I was 16 and everybody was like telling me I was shit, and they were 30 and 40. And here's where it changes, is when you're breaking balls, and you and I talked a little bit about this, so I'm glad we're talking about this again for other people to hear. When you're breaking balls, like you said, there's a booth at Gotham, and let's say it's Quinn, Voss, and then 3 guys we don't know. We'll walk up and go, look at these fucking idiots. Or, you know what I mean? We'll say, but those 3 guys are going, what's his problem? Like, I don't know who he is. He just called me an idiot. But here's the thing. When you do Jerry Maguire and you come in and say that same sentence, people go, whoa. I think it's approach, because to me, I was still the guy on the stoop with me, you, and Keith, right, and Colin, and Red Johnny, and the round guy at the Boston Comedy Club, where we just shit on each other until the sun came up.
Right.
And then when you go out west and you make 2 movies and come back, all of a sudden that shit ain't so funny anymore.
Well, I think too, if somebody's fucking with you, they think fucking with you is changed because you are in movies. So people are nervous about, they might not think you're the same person. And you might think the ball busting is coming from jealousy. As opposed, your ears might change. When you come from doing Jerry Maguire, somebody goes, shut up, Jay. You're like, you might feel, cause let's be honest, the higher, it's hard to keep yourself in check when your profile is rising. It's hard to, that whole thing where they go, hey, keep stay grounded. Yeah. It's very difficult to stay exactly how you are, because I get noticed more on the street, and I'm a people guy, but sometimes I catch myself being how I could be a douche.
Do they think you're Oliver Miller?
No, never.
Give me a laugh,
not tall
son of a bitch.
I'm not tall enough.
I didn't mention your Hitler mustache yet, so keep going.
Colin talked about that. But I'm telling you, this shit is a triangle. Hitler's is a square.
You got the Michael Jordan Hitler mustache from the Hanes commercial.
We should start saying, black people should start wearing that just to go, boom. No, we like it. It's a Charlie Chaplin. Exactly.
I like that.
It's a Chaplin.
I said, on the podcast, I said, you know how fucking crazy you have to be to show up to do a product like Hanes, and you roll out of your trailer with a Hitler mustache?
With the Hitler joint.
Like, what? Like, nothing's going on? And they go, hey, Mike, have you been to hair and makeup? And he goes, yeah, why? Oh,
yeah, you got a Hitler mustache.
It's Michael Jordan. You know, they got you for like, and with him, it's like, you got 14 minutes. Then you got 13 minutes. And he'll tell you the whole way, you got 6 more minutes. You better get your shot. And they go, just say it, Mike. Just say it to camera. And he goes, oh boy.
I shaded with a triangle. I think it was I was trying to get a Carmelo Anthony going, but I guess it's.
I'm surprised the Celtic fan wants to look like a Knick.
Oh shit.
So what you said, stay grounded, but when I came back east and we started breaking balls at like the Boston Comedy Club, that's when I felt the most grounded. But little did I know, I was taking it up a notch to like the boiling point where people were going.
Well, maybe he was trying to prove that you was still grounded, but it might have came off different.
There's no doubt about it.
It changes, man. You change. You can't not look. My girl told me this. Like, I'm way too accommodating to strangers. Like, I'll talk to strangers and
I just
have
started
conversations. And,
You told him that?
and
I just stopped it. And it's hard to do.
well, it's hard to.
When somebody says, "Hey Patrice, what's
Yep.
up, man?" And you go through that like it's 4 seconds in your brain, but as fast as your brain works, it's like a 50,000 person Rolodex and situations and places where I could possibly know this person from. And I'm betting you, Patrice, you don't want to be like, fuck, this person's gonna think I'm a dick because I don't remember them from that thing. And then you go, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then you realize halfway through, I have no idea who this person is.
I try to carry myself like a dude that you shouldn't, like if you go, "Oh, that's you the dude from," especially if somebody says something. Years ago I did this show, The Jury, and I saw, the lady from Ghostbusters. That's who she was to me. The old librarian from the Ghostbusters. Evidently, this woman is some kind of, Oscar nominated.
Hey, hon. Who played the librarian in Ghostbusters?
She's an old lady.
She's been on Night Court?
No. She's
All
like,
right, so I'll look it up. Sigourney Weaver.
no, the old lady from The Librarian.
Well, we'll figure it
And
out.
then she was in the movie where De Niro was retarded or sick or had a stroke or something.
Oh, Helen Mirren? Helen Mirren?
Yes.
She said that's all of them.
That's it was was it Helen Mirren? No, Helen
Stiller
Mirren
and
was more
Mira?
famous. Just the old lady that played the librarian, but she got mad.
Oh, you saw her.
I saw her,
All right.
and she got mad because I said, "Man, I recognize you. What you do?" And then she's like,
What you do?
"Yeah, right." And she's like, have you seen? You must have seen the movie. Love Is a Tender Moment, like where I won an Oscar." And I'm like, "No, ain't it."
Alice Drummond.
Alice Drummond.
Never heard of Alice Drummond.
And so she goes. She was so disappointed.
Good old what's her name?
Yeah. So she was
Well, then
disappointed.
she's an asshole. She's playing
But this is what I'm saying. I knew her from what I knew her from.
Right.
So I knew her from Ghostbusters.
Right.
And she said, and she breathed hard. She went, Ghostbusters.
She was on the Cosby Show. Like, I'm looking at her IMDb right now. New York News, Tu Wong Fu.
I know her from the Ghostbusters.
I'll tell you right now, lady, you ain't shit.
But she got upset. So sometimes if I see
Maybe you
somebody in the
didn't see me
street,
in Tu Wong Fu.
if somebody see me on the street and say something I don't like, I notice that I get, like if somebody's like, like when I was going to Brazil, they call me, Patricky. So if somebody's like calling me Patricky in the
But
street.
that's because they don't speak English.
Nah, Patricky, like, cause they know, no. When I went to Brazil, I got this nickname Patricky when I used to go to Brazil all the time. And when I came back and did the radio, I talk about it, but Norton wrote his book. Norton wrote his book and put Patricky in there. And now, some people might go, Patricky, just straight up say Patricky. So it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I love to," to come at you a certain way.
Right.
But they'll just go, Patricky! And you look, and I give them "Hey, what's up, bro?" Like a real nasty kind
Don't
of,
fuck with me.
yeah.
Today.
Or not even that, but like a more of a, "What's up, man? I'm walking the streets. Hey, how you doing? I acknowledge your existence, but, don't call me that in the street," because you're going to get that. But I could give you a lot more, though. I'm a dude that will talk to you for
Right.
a good 10 minutes if you...
Like when you know it's an off-duty cop.
If you know...
Hey, what's up, man? You staying safe?
If you act in a certain way, I'm gonna give you something. I'm really like that dude in the street. And so the thing right now in my career that I'm getting used to, Jay, is this idea of not being able to be in the street or not being able to
It's nutty, man.
not be like, you can't be around everybody like that.
I was at the pharmacy the other day picking up, like, sodas. And at Duane Reade, and the lady goes, "I haven't seen a pharmacist because I haven't been in New York in like 6 months." And she goes, "How you doing?" This Russian lady. I says, "Good." She goes, "You had a baby?" Like, so I haven't seen this lady in 6 months. She knows I had a baby. I haven't seen her. Like, from the news.
Right.
The fake, that bullshit news.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh, that's why you look so tired." But I just slept like 11 hours and I had a nap. I felt great. And I looked at her, I go, "Nope, just ugly." And everyone lined and looked at me and looked at her like, this is really uncomfortable. But people say like the stupidest shit, and I think it's because when you're a comedian, they think they know you. Like if you see Jim Carrey walking down the street or Eddie walking down the street, people aren't going to be able to stay away from them. But if you see Pacino walking down the street, it's like this reverence, this silence, like, holy shit, Michael Corleone.
But that's why they should have more. The documentaries that they have about comedians have never touched on one did that was close maybe, but the complete misery of comedians, man. The miserable people.
Are you miserable?
I'm all the time.
Cause my wife says she thinks I'm an actor that acts like a comic because I have none of the miserable. I'm always happy.
Yeah,
I have no damage like thing that happened to me.
I'm miserable just cause
you just wake up pissed off.
Yeah.
I wake up let's go kick some ass. It keeps me going. I wake up, let's do it.
I don't like disappointment. So I'm miserable like.
But see, I just file disappointment. Like it's just like when they hit hyperspace on Star Wars.
Right.
And all those lights come at you. Like just some of those are disappointment. They just fly past. Like fuck it, keep going.
But I mean disappointment just on a basic day of something spoiling my happiness. This means just if I feel like singing Zippity Doo-Dah.
Having to come here, I'm sure you like. It's a great idea, and then when you actually go from Jersey City into the city, you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Well, yeah, you're thinking of ways to.
Yeah.
But I
would have come and got you.
But I actually.
She's coughing like, I don't feel good. JJ, I can't come in. I gotta cough.
I actually am getting a lot better with that because I go, okay, I'm gonna do it. Because I start running down excuses to not do something.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, he's here and he's asking. I got nothing to do. So I'm trying to get into this thing where I don't have, no, wait. I'm trying to get into this thing where I don't let laziness stop me. I've done that. I've fortified an excuse that sounds really good, but it's based on really laziness. But I'll have an amazing scenario to make this laziness legitimate. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, we've all done it.
So if
you get out of like stuff with your family, like, I broke my arm.
Exactly. I just broke my arm, Jay.
And they see you like 2 days later and you're like, turns out it wasn't broke. And you got this Steve Cato.
Yeah, I slept on my arm, man.
Patrice, I never said I broke my arm. It's so inside.
So I'm not saying I did this. I'm not saying I did it because I had nothing to do.
I'm saying that's what we're looking for.
I'm saying that I did it because I didn't have anything to do, but my instinct was to go, I can't do it. That was my instinct. Like when I did Mark Maron's, we did it at the studio when we were both doing O&A at the same day.
Oh yeah.
So I almost couldn't get out of it. So it was like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm doing this as a favor to Jay because I'm not doing nothing. It's more or less, I'm not doing nothing on Monday. So all I would do was it gave me an excuse to get up and actually be in show business. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cause I would just stay in the bed.
And people will come to your shows because of this too. If this will be out like, November or December. If you got a December date, say them here. I'm supposed to say this. More Stories podcast is brought to you by.
Are you getting paid, you son of a bitch?
No. And now I gotta do it over cause you
I'm gonna interrupt if you're getting paid for these podcasts.
No, I don't make a penny.
Really?
Never took a dime.
You never took a dime is not never.
I've never gotten paid.
Really?
Never.
Is it a labor of love?
Yeah. It's because people go to your shows when they hear it. I mean, you get paid in the long run when people go, when you're at like the Tempe Improv and you go, this is oddly full on a Thursday, and they're yelling out lines from the podcast from like 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you been doing it?
This will be, like 17th? The 17th one or so? 16, 17?
Over a course of what? This year?
Every week. Every Thursday it comes out.
You've only been doing it 6 months, maybe? What's that?
It started in like June with Barry Katz as my guest. I couldn't even get anybody to come to my house.
What was the motivation?
Every opening act on the road was like, you want to do my podcast between shows? Why does everybody that's opening for me have podcasts? And then Tom Segura was in Vegas with me, and Tommy's super funny. And he said to me, I didn't sell dick. And he goes, if you did the podcast when I first talked to you about the podcast, this would have been sold out every show. And I said, really? And he told me how Rogan does, like, he had to move from clubs to theaters not because of UFC, because of podcasts. So I did it with the super long-term vision of, I want people to come see my comedy because I like making people laugh. And I want, when you do the radio and you go through all the motions and then you go up there on a Friday and they're like, a little slow. It's game 2 of the fucking Potsdam intramurals. And you're like, I don't give a fuck if it's game 7, Russia versus USA. Like, I'm here. Let's do it.
Right.
So I just wanted to sell more tickets. So it's I saw it already.
But did you think that it would do that right away?
I was told in no uncertain terms by Tom Segura, by Joe Rogan, and then by when I talked to Kevin Smith, it was, you don't understand. This is what's happening. I said, so this is like the future. And they went, no, this is now. Like, you're actually on the wave now, on the board, surfing this shit into where it's supposed to be. Like, you're not ahead of it. You're not behind it. It's exactly right now. This is what's happening now. Like, radio's going away quick, and everyone's going to start doing podcasts. And you can just drive home, like today, you and Vaughn could just hit, like, the Holland Tunnel and go, let's listen to, like, someone we want to listen to. Like, whether it's, you go Adam Carolla, you can go, like, Cornel West, you can go Rogan, you can go Maron.
So what are they hearing this on?
They go to iTunes and they download it, and it goes into their iPod, like if they're going to the gym listening to music. It's ridiculous.
Somebody, when I did another podcast.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm saying, okay, good. Maron. When I did Maron's.
WTF Mark Maron, the #1 podcast in the world.
When I did Maron's, and he was doing it, it wasn't, and this wasn't a long time ago. It was basic. It was like, when I did it, I was like, this is interesting. I was looking at his setup. And I went out that day and got up the whole setup to do a podcast.
This is going, you stupid.
Like I went out and bought
Radio Shack.
I bought this. I bought this whole thing that I'm looking
Radio
at.
Shack.
I swear to God.
And I'm gonna need a lot of batteries, partner.
I bought the bigger version of this thing. I bought a small this thing.
Yeah. You were the TR-808.
I bought
mics, Be Nice.
Everything.
You needed a backup.
I'm probably gonna buy this.
CDP crew.
This is the whole thing, man. I'm telling you. I was gonna do the podcast, and then I was like, cause
you went through Guru's will. See Premiere left any equipment behind. Cassette players.
I went through the whole thing. And
then what's it doing now?
I don't even know where I put it. I know it's in my garage. All equipment somewhere.
You have a garage in Jersey City?
Yeah. I got
Jersey City to me, because when I grew up, Jersey City was just concrete bad news. But now I think the Nets, are they responsible in part for like turning the city around? Oh,
no, not even a sec, not even close. It's just they rebuild it because it's
all
a
the radio
university
stations
there.
are there.
Saint something University.
Saint something, the patron saint of what?
Saint Patrick.
No, that's him. Good old what's his name?
I think it's St. Patrick's University. They bind up a lot of that crap. Is it St. Patrick's?
No. St. John's?
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. St. Peter's
University. So
and
they
also
build
all the radio stations moved across the river, like Z100 and all those people.
They're all there, but they're on the water. I live deep in Promiseville. Like they promised to, when I bought my house, and when I went into the thing to buy it,
14 acres and a dog,
and they showed that they had a painting of what it was going to be.
So then you had the house up, like you could buy.
Oh, this is what it's going to be. The Jetsons. They had everybody had one of your dogs, and everybody
jetpacks.
Everybody had jetpacks. Everybody had this. This is in 3 years.
Pool, and then what do you got? Just like a condo?
It's the first phase. I live in the first phase of a 5-phase construction promise.
But aren't you going to be pissed off when phase 3 goes up and you see how nice it is?
Phase 3 is not going to ever happen. It is. I live in phase 1, and the rest is surrounded by dilapidated.
Yeah, it gets rough
buildings,
quick. Yeah,
a bad trucking company, and it's the foot traffic from the hood. It's a shortcut where I live. It's a shortcut from the hood to the Hood Mall. So
yeah,
it's a shortcut from Martin Luther King Boulevard to the Hudson Mall, and that's where all the foot traffic. So you got a whole place where people got Beamers, Benzes, guy has a Porsche, Hummers, and that's the foot traffic from Martin Luther King Boulevard to the Hudson Mall. So that's where I live. It was supposed to be a gated community, but then the whole...
So no wonder you wake up angry.
You get mad.
Do you look at the painting? Do you have the painting from when they sold
I
you
wish
the
I had
place
the
up on
painting.
the wall?
I wish I did. I wish that I had the promise. But I got bars and everything on my walls, man, on my windows and everything. I have a lock that you only can get out. You need a key to get out. And you can't get out
And you have
without
a fucking
key.
poodle.
I have a little poodle and a little Westie.
You would think in that neighborhood you would just go Rottweiler, get it done.
Well, I don't like big dogs. I'm not picking up big dog shit. That shit is
right.
horrid. When you
I
put
know.
the plastic
I
gloves
used
on.
to have it.
And sometimes
That dog shit, I'll get a receipt out of my pocket
And pick
I'll
it up.
pick it up.
Exactly.
Or sometimes I just kick it into the street like a little pizza. But when we were talking about people coming up to you in the street, when you're a comic, they think they have license to break balls the way we break balls because they'll hear us on Opie and Anthony in the way.
But they don't know how to do it.
That's where I'm going. Is the point? So don't yell at me. Like, Jay, you asshole.
It's just because it pisses
They'll
me
be
off.
like, hey, Patrinky, what's up, man? And like, if Bobby took a shot at you or Jimmy said something, they'll say that shit to you. Or like, they'll say shit to me and I'll be like, this guy doesn't know me well enough to talk that shit to me in the middle of fucking Amsterdam Avenue.
But not even if he don't know you well enough, he doesn't know how to do it.
Right.
He doesn't, if they think, it's like these roasts. I keep telling people, okay, I did this roast, but I'm saying there's something missing from it, and that's camaraderie. It's love is missing from it.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm gonna Google you and say horrible things about you that I found out on the internet.
Like we're all friends with David Hasselhoff. So, can I roast him? He's my pal. Yeah.
But he doesn't, but that's what I'm saying. Jeff is,
she's kidding.
no, I'm thinking about
I know
Jeff
you were-
because it gets me to, I think about this stuff, man. It's like, look, I did this roast,
The Charlie Sheen roast.
the Charlie Sheen roast.
And you dominated the Charlie Sheen roast.
Thank you. I did that roast. My instinct was to say yes. Like they asked me to do a few others.
Which we've established is against your everyday instinct.
Right.
Your natural instinct is
Is
to say no. So what was it about this?
I truly, without sounding like a sanctimonious, let me figure it out. It was a lot of pieces. Meaning one was, let's say it's supposed to have been the highest rated roast ever.
Yeah, it was,
Okay.
I'm sure, right?
So, but they called me a week what helped is that they called me a week ahead of time. Just a week out. They had been planning it for 6 months.
They know how to get to Patricia. That's
But
funny.
they
I bet your agents were like, if you want him to do it, just call him the night before.
The night before. It was a week. And I was just like, they asked me, and I said, I think I want to do it. But why I'm saying I didn't want to play it like a douchebag is because I really liked Charlie Sheen when he was fighting the system. I enjoyed that.
Why?
I enjoyed watching.
Did you
him
enjoy
squirm.
his stance?
$2
$2 million a week, and you're
see, that's
causing a
not that.
problem?
That's what made it even better. Is that the $2 million a week? I would love to have that.
As a guy, yeah, but he said goodbye to it to go on some bullshit tour.
But
As a guy that made not that on a sitcom that got canceled, that was good, and I thought it was good. If they came to me and said, we're going to pay you $2 million a week, but here's the thing, every Thursday, Chuck Lorre, the showrunner, would come up and you're going to have to suck his dick. And I would say, what's the bad news? And I would do it well. Like,
but that's
be thinking
different.
of it-
Some people see that,
That's more money than A-Rod makes.
but
And
that's not a motivating factor to me.
There's never an away game. It's $8 million a month.
But that's the motivating factor for you. That's not the
blowing
motivating
Chuck
factor.
Lorre. $2 million a week doesn't
blowing Chuck
motivate
Lorre-
you?
No, Chuck Lorre.
You're being phase
$2 million is the motivating factor. Sucking Chuck Lorre's dick is
A byproduct.
what you have to do to get that motivating factor.
I don't care. I would do it.
But see, there's no argument there because I wouldn't suck Chuck Lorre's dick for $2 million. And I'm not even trying to be
She
on
would
top
make
of a
you.
mountain. No, she wouldn't.
Oh, damn.
No, she wouldn't.
So for $2 million a week, so would you do a shitty show that you?
But
do
put it this way. Wait, let me even be on your side a little more.
All right, a little more.
Suck Chuck Lorre's dick. I'm trying to say without us arguing.
Don't be gay. I'll do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you. I'd rather do it than I would have you do it because I would never get that shit out of my head.
Why would you even say that?
What?
Yeah, we like, all right, how about my girl? That's what she's supposed to be doing. It's giving head.
Not to Chuck Lorre.
Yes, if he would let her, if I went that way.
If he would let her? What are you kidding me?
Why would I suck his dick? What's she gonna think of me? Where are we going? If I'm sucking dick, I know this is a figurative conversation.
Wherever the fuck you want, because you got $8 million after taxes in 2 months.
So you think I can buy her? Look, it's better. It's better for her to have.
But on a side note, right now our wives are in the corner on the couch going, I would suck his dick. I wouldn't let him do it, but I would suck his dick.
I always say,
put it this way.
Pick a job you like, you never work a day in your life. I picked blow.
She said, pick a job you like. You never work a day in your life. My wife chose blow. And I can say, yes, you did. And I'll say, I enjoy your work.
Thank you.
So,
let me say this to you, to make it like, so it's less of a disagreement and just like, I go, look, if they said, Patrice, we're gonna pay you $2 million a week, but you gotta suck his dick.
once.
I would cry because I wouldn't suck his dick. Cause I would go, fuck, I need $2 million a week. But I would feel bad that I wouldn't suck his dick.
What if no one knew you were going to suck his dick?
Nah.
Only you. What if Vaughn never knew?
Internally, nah. I built my mind, so I like money, but I don't love it.
Phase 4 in Jersey City.
It's fine.
The next day.
But here's the thing.
It's fine.
Charlie Sheen never had to actually suck.
Yeah, my wife has a salient point. Charlie Sheen never had to suck anyone's dick. He had his face in box
He just had to show
for 14 years doing blow. All he had to do was show up. And he pissed it away by acting like he couldn't get along well with others.
I like a human. I like a human factor in Hollywood sometimes. I heard a story about Chaz Palminteri that I love. Is that you want to hear a story about a guy who just, I hate the fact that everything that makes you a better human in this business ultimately is dumb. Integrity, pride, fucking self-respect. It's dumb. It's a dumb thing to have. It is. In this business, having those things is stupid.
Time out. The guy that,
dumb.
Hold on. The guy that just said he would not suck a dick for $2 million said having integrity is dumb.
No. Meaning.
That's what you just said.
Listen, I'm a repeat. You can't back me in. I know what the fuck. I'll just say it again.
Break it. Good go.
When I'm saying not sucking a dick in this business.
Right. But in other business.
It's dumb. So I'm saying the things as a human.
You went the other way with
it. The things that you do where you go, I'm going to make a stand. Like Chaz Palminteri told his story basically. It's like, he said he will not do, they wanted, a Bronx Tale really bad. He told the story on O&A. He wanted the Hollywood wanted a Bronx Tale really bad. And he's like, look, I want to play,
the guy.
What's the guy's name?
I don't know, but
the guy that he played in the Bronx Tale. And he's just like,
St. Peter.
What the fuck is his name?
Who cares? It doesn't affect the story. Keep going.
Anyway, he wanted to play the gangster.
Yeah.
No one would let him play the gangster. They kept offering him more and more money to say, no, you're not playing the gangster. We want to buy it. You can play the bus driver, but not the gangster.
Right.
He's like, I want to play the gangster. He even went Sonny. He wanted to play Sonny. He even went in the bathroom and had a moment of, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I not just selling it and then moving on? He had some integrity there. So finally, by chance, he met Robert De Niro. De Niro said, I want to make this. You can play Sonny. I don't give a shit. I'll play the bus driver. And the rest is history. I love stories like that. But in the midst of his story, he was wondering, what am I doing having dumb integrity? That's what I mean. I enjoy.
Would you say it paid off for him?
Yeah, it paid off.
So then how could it be a dumb thing to have integrity?
Because the journey in Hollywood terms, because even him in the room.
Logic.
Even in the bathroom when he's starting to question his own integrity, it did work out, but that's 2020. That's hindsight. But I'm saying he was starting to feel, why am I taking a stand against what Hollywood would tell me to do? Sell my thing, play the bus driver, and shut your fucking mouth. When I hear a story where a dude goes against the Hollywood thing and he wins, I love that story. I just think it's a possibility.
Like Stallone in Rocky. Completely, like, I'm not doing it unless I can play Rocky.
Unless he does his thing.
And then finally, it's like...
And it took him years to be good. Yes.
It's weird when you think that Rocky came out before Raging Bull. Because you think of Raging Bull as like this work of art.
And it seems older, the way it's filmed and everything. Yeah. It looks like an old movie. Yeah. But it was a lot after. Maybe, what,
No, 77 and 80. 3 years.
Okay. So, my thing is, the Charlie Sheen thing...
But he didn't win. He lost huge.
Money-wise, he lost. But not...
He lost his kids.
That had nothing to do with Chuck Lorre, though. That's his personal life. I'm talking about the Hollywood thing.
But the situation that made him lose his kids...
His kids is a different thing. I wouldn't say losing his kids was... I'm saying
it's
the Chuck Lorre beef.
Because the behavior that made you have Chuck Lorre beef on set is the same behavior that made you lose your children.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, how could you not say it?
I wouldn't say that because...
Drugs and firearms and hookers and kids?
I'm still with my woman, and people might go, well, how? I don't abuse my way out of my relationship. I might have abused my way out of business stuff. Out of opportunities, maybe.
What do you want to do?
I would love... We just talked about this recently.
Who, you and fucking Mark Maron, your buddy now?
My good buddy. I think Mark Maron... That podcast was a moment in time, that podcast.
Don't even pay that any attention. I'm just breaking your balls. So
I'm sitting here looking at it right now.
I know you're mesmerized by the blinking blue light that says 23. Don Mattingly, Don Mattingly, Don Mattingly, Don Mattingly. What do you want to do?
I just have to, Tough Crowd was the closest I've ever come to like being completely,
I'm just picturing you in that, when you were in that fucking singlet. You dressed, it's in somebody's avatar on one of the websites. You were dressed like a prostitute and like a...
I forget. See, but look, that is an example, dude. That was in the cut. Where I'm going, in my mind, I'm going, all right, big tranny.
That's what it was?
And I was a tranny. I was a Dominican tranny. So...
You look good, mommy.
Awesome. So I'm going, well... Dominican tranny. That was it. Oh, Dominican tranny. Jane Campion.
Yeah, that's a ballsy move.
But I'm saying she was this woman is
My wife's saying you made a big.
Yeah, right. This is my mentality. Yeah. My mentality to that is. Wait. Fame. I was chasing something.
Wait, how did Jane Campion become a Dominican tranny on Tough Crowd?
No. Oh, right. Okay. Tough Crowd. Listen, you guys. Because you're the one that was talking about in the cut. You brought that up. The Avatar. Yeah. That's why I switched to the thing where my mentality it goes into this fame chasing thing. Mm-hmm. This thing where you're chasing something. Do instinctively I want to play a big fat Dominican sissy with a fake accent that sounded terrible, but I did it for fame because I thought it was just like saying, okay, play a retard. You're gonna play a retard. Okay, good. That means fame.
Yeah,
but.
This is your I Am Sam.
This is my. This is it, baby.
On Tough Crowd.
Oh, but
somebody's gonna see me playing this, and they're gonna make me Forrest Whitaker in the Crime Game too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm doing. So that doesn't make me happy. Hey, but that's what you do in Hollywood.
I know. I just
do that.
Blow a guy for a job.
You gotta get one lazy eye.
You gotta get that Forrest Whitaker lazy eye.
So Tough Crowd, when you asked me what I want to do, yeah. Tough Crowd was what was up my alley.
You want to be Colin?
I want to.
You want to be on the panel?
I want to be able to know what it was is like. For me, I would love to be Jon Stewart, or I would love to be Anderson Cooper, or I would love to be even Jimmy Kimmel. I would love to sit and tell my point of view, no matter what it is, without any angle, without any political association.
Your angle.
My angle, and just really talk shit and tell my opinion, to be honest. But to get paid for it. I've given away a lot of my spirit. A lot. I don't know how much. That's the thing about the podcast. You have you have a mentality that I actually envy, which is just keep it moving. You know, if I do this, like I used to do a podcast, me and my woman and my friends, we used to do this podcast, Patrice O'Neal Show coming soon. It was really fun, but you just don't get paid, and the fans, you know, you see it with Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
They really don't care. They just will, they take sometimes.
Right.
And I think I have, when I was 20, infinite well of, spirit.
Yeah.
Now I'm very discreet with my spirit, cause I think I might have I give it away too much. Like podcasts every week, they'll demand the Jay Moore podcast.
This shit was
week.
late one day and people lost their fucking
Where
mind.
the fuck? And you go,
I'm like,
hold
it's
on,
free.
man. It's free. And
I don't upload it.
It's
Kevin
free
Smith.
for them. It's free for them.
Yeah.
But it costs for you. This costs time.
If you kept doing your podcast, that's the thing I was told, is you got to do it the same time every week and you have to just keep doing it.
Some days I might not. But then they go, oh, dude, all you got to do. And that's another thing. I never want to feel like, I always feel, I think you're the same way.
I need a way.
Watching you, that you feel like you could give a lot less, but you don't. Like you watch people out there that do what they do, and you can go, boy, I don't need to give. I can give
comics
25% of myself.
Don't you see comics and you go, this guy's not talking to anyone I've been in the audience of comics and I thought, I'm in the 8th row and somehow he's not talking to me. He's just going through.
He's doing his thingy.
Yeah. He's just doing
I hate that. Like I always do this joke with the guy that features with me all the time on the road. He goes,
Shit's about to get real right now.
You think so?
No, I know not. I know for a fact, no.
Push pause.
Did I go to like moan or something?
Yeah.
Moan some shit?
He goes,
Can't get the flashlight?
he goes, you think so? And I go, I know not.
No, it ain't happening.
He said, press pause. You guys just got up.
There's one thing I ain't doing.
It ain't happening ever?
No, never.
It's been a beef already behind that?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, no.
I want that. I want that right there. That's what I want.
Yeah, can you-
5'8", 100 and change. That's all I want. My twink.
Yeah.
I like 12-year-old boy with big tits. That's what I like. All right, don't undress for the guy.
No,
Jesus.
I'm like Peter Pan, like a little twink.
I thought it was, I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was going up further.
No.
And I wasn't gonna do this either. I wasn't gonna block I was
why
gonna stare
should
right
you?
at him. Okay, good.
Crap, what's this name?
All right. Let's take it easy.
I got no shame.
All right.
But,
Colin's going.
man, we was,
You see people giving 25% less.
yeah.
And you think the podcast, you don't have it in you to give 100% once a week for a fucking hour. Bullshit. Bullshit.
No, not saying
That's
that.
genetics, man.
Not saying that. I'm saying, like, I joke around. I go, I'm only gonna do 45 minutes tonight, and if I'm doing a show, and then
I say that every night.
I go, I'm only.
But I wind up doing an hour and 10. I can't get off because I'm having a good time.
Right, because there's an instinct to do the best you can. So sometimes, okay, let me finish.
You got it.
Let's say I was talking to Bob. Bob's like, dude, all you gotta do, even if you don't, just get up and just talk shit for an hour, or do something in the dressing room in between this, that's what I mean about not giving 100%, which is if I set my standards at, I want to interview Jay Moore, I want to interview Colin, I want to talk to this guy, I want to go down to the protests, and talk to people. if I don't do that every Monday, I'll feel bad. I'll feel like I could give a shitty podcast and it's good enough. That's what I mean. I don't want to do good enough. I want every week, and that's what I'm not sure of, that I'll start to get angry because I'll go, I'm giving you motherfuckers too much of me. I'm dying inside.
But how can you ever equal that relationship with your audience if you always feel like you're giving more and they're vampiring you?
Never on stage.
Oh, I know that. I've seen
on
you.
Stage.
It was for those idiots occupying Times Square. I was going to see Saturday night. They fucking ruined it for everybody. Hippies.
See, the audience has to give when they're in the crowd. That's what I mean. I'm talking about.
It's like tug of war.
And I'm glad you're making me make it clear, because I could say some things in my mind is clear. I'm saying the arbitrary world of the internet, the arbitrary world of arbitrariness. Just you're doing this out of love, and you're just putting it out there. But I'm saying when I do shows and I see you, I know that you're giving.
Yeah.
And even if you're not giving, I know you're gonna give.
I'm gonna grind you down to a nub.
See you.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And I'm gonna get everyone at your table to wonder why you're not laughing.
Yes.
But here's the thing with the podcast is I'll do sometimes like Matt Paxton was here from Hoarders. Mm-hmm. Quinny's coming by. And then when I get to LA, I'll do like 2 comics right in a row, and then I won't have to do it again for a month. Because I'll have a catalog ready to go.
Oh, you'll just have it. Right. I get what you're saying.
That wasn't my intention, but I realized that subconsciously, and now it is very consciously, any endeavor I do, I need a way out. When they say, hey, like, do you want to have the David Letterman show? You go, yeah, that's like the dream job of all time. And then you realize, holy shit, if this goes well, I'm
years.
Never moving.
You're an old man.
I'm never doing the Comedy Works in Denver again. I'm never just going to be in a hotel going, can you send up chicken wings? I'm watching Fright Night.
No, there's nothing that you're going to want to ever stop doing comedy?
No. But to me, it's also... what? Spinning plates always has the connotation of like, whoa, like shit's about to go wrong in any second. But if you can have spinning plates be a positive visual, you're just spinning a lot of plates. You got a lot of irons in the fire, they say, but spinning plates is more applicable. To me, each plate has a little bit of money on it. So why put money aside? When I was doing a sitcom on my week off, if I can go get half my weekly rate of a sitcom by driving to fucking Phoenix, only a fool to me would leave that behind. Because then you can live off the sitcom money. I mean, you can live off the stand-up money, and you can just buy a house with your sitcom money.
So a lot of your motivation is money.
Well, yeah. I'm married with kids in a house.
Look, I'm not trying to say
I got
that's
a mortgage.
bad.
No.
But that's what I'm saying. My motivation
when I started was to get famous.
Happy, though. How much is happy? Is money your happiness?
No. I made almost $0 this year, and it was the happiest year of my life.
That's what I'm saying, J-Lo. So you're not that I'm making an argument, but
But I don't want to have to sell my house in another year from now.
You're in a position where your happiness meets your finances. Like you're in this town,
right?
In this nice hotel,
right?
And you can afford it. And you can really afford it, meaning this is not a splurge. This is...
No, it is a splurge.
You can afford it.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to do Governor's Night in Long Island just to pay for...
To supplement.
The only reason I'm doing stand-up in town. Gotham I had booked, and like I did the Stress Factory, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I got a corporate gig.
You had the Stress Factory when?
I was there last Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
And I went and I booked these nights so that I could stay here and be happy in this room.
I get it. But
money of course it's money. Because money, people say like, hey, money can't buy you happiness.
No, it can. I feel like
money
Biggie
can make you real
said,
fucking,
more money, more problems.
Bullshit.
I don't believe in that.
No. More money,
it helps.
Let me call a guy to take care of the problem.
But I mean in terms of...
When you broke, you gotta fix the toilet yourself. You're down there, you gotta take the lid off and put your hands in that stinky water.
And when you're rich... Ask me about The Office. Like, oh, you understand The Office. There were things that were happening on The Office not that they were doing to me, but that for myself.
I didn't know you were on The Office.
Yeah, I was like 5 or 6 episodes, I think, something like that. And I was there enough, and I did well enough to stay. But it was just the 18 hours of grinding, and the 18 hours.
It's crazy.
The 18 hours of grinding for not me, and then I would do things that I thought was giving 100% to the cause, and I realized I couldn't give 100% to that cause anymore for myself mentally. It's not like I quit. It's just like I just left.
This is how I feel about that. I'm giving 100% for my representation of me on that cause. When people watch this show, they're going to go, Jay Moore's fucking funny. And to me, whether it's true or not, I am always playing catch up. I'm still the guy that's 12 and everybody else is 14. So when I'm doing a guest spot on like Suburgatory and I'm playing Cheryl Hines' husband, I'm like, all right, she was on Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Absolutely.
the ad-lib show of all time.
Right.
So I got to make sure I land some monsters in this scene.
Right.
And when the director yells cut as I'm about to speak, I got to go talk to the guy and go, you know, you might want to, could you let it breathe a little? I had some really funny lines. And he goes, well, let me hear him. I'm like, no. So to me, it's, do I want to sit around on a show? And I know exactly what you mean. And it's mind-boggling that for a half-hour show can take fucking 18 hours.
Right.
Is like, and a sitcom, meanwhile, they do a switch like on Bugs Bunny, that big switch, that light switch on the wall, like a sitcom, they just light it. You just walk in, like Vaughn walks in, you walk in, Nikki walks in, it's just lit. No matter who comes in where it's lit, every once in a while they'll change something. But for me, it's like if I was you on The Office, I have no opinion of what you did. I didn't even know you were on it. So it's not like you did this wrong. I would say this is fucking bananas. But you know what? When people watch this, they're going to go, fuck, Patrice is awesome.
And I agree. But here's where I have a reputation as a
But let me ask you this. How does the show, the work to the show, the grind, how did that supersede your personal desire to stand out on the show?
Because it was two things, and again, this might be silly.
Okay.
It's what I'm working to be. It's like what do I want to be? Do I want to be known for this, or do I want to be known for something else? And it's like, wait a minute.
No,
so let me get to why I did, because when I was younger in the business, known as a bridge burner, asshole.
When you were Bruiser?
When I was Bruiser from
Roxbury?
Yeah.
That's why I said Guru earlier, because I know he's a Boston guy.
Yeah, so who watched that? A lot of people don't know I'm Bruiser. That might bring back old
Fuck them.
Old memories.
I'll get my little Yorkie to kick their ass.
So,
all right. So
wait. So wait a second. I don't want to go into. I made a decision, and this was. I was trying to think about what was my bridge burning technique. There was. It was. This was my technique. It was saying yes to things that was gonna push my career forward. But saying yes to that, not wanting to do it, but still doing it. So I do it with a bad attitude, if that makes sense. So I go in, the podcast, for instance. There was a time I go, oh yeah, I do it because I know it'll help. But I go in and my attitude is just completely wrong. So, and it's just bad. Like, it's just bad. It's not interesting.
Why is the attitude wrong?
But I changed that. So instead of going in, like I don't think I've ever been asked to do Chelsea Handler, but I go, if I do that, I want to do it and do it correctly. Do it where I submit that she's the boss. I submit that I'm on stage with Joe or Lonnie or whatever and play my position. But I'm not willing to do that.
No, you're not Charles Oakley.
You know,
I see a guy like you and Chelsea Handler. I go, what the fuck is Patrice doing on Chelsea Handler with these
But that's
ne'er-do-wells?
You only say that because you have an idea who I am. And you have an idea of who I am, but you wouldn't say that just because on a talent level, you say that on a presentation level. on how you're presented, how I present myself in the game, or how you present yourself in the game.
How I would perceive it?
How Colin presents himself in the game. But you can see someone else doing
When
Chelsea.
I see you on the panel with Chelsea Handler, you stick out like a sore thumb. You're wearing your Celtics gear. You're Paul Pierce. You ain't fucking, you know.
But there are people who are Paul Pierces that would do Chelsea Handler, if that makes sense.
I've never seen him.
Josh
will. No,
she
man.
gets A people, man. And I'm not an A guy.
I'm not talking about a guest. You're talking about being on the panel.
Yes, being on her show.
No, she has people on that show that just that are just like her like crew.
But in reality, man, I think in the world of comedy,
you'd be like Kobe playing on like St. John's.
I don't think in her world. In Chelsea's world, I'm those people.
In Chelsea's world,
Joe Coy is selling out theaters.
In Chelsea's world, we're all in the D League.
Right.
Yeah. But see, I think you're correct in that. I'm giving you a positive reinforcement for you to think, if I go on Chelsea Handler, I have to do it correctly, and then you'd have a bad attitude about going on it. You should never be within 100 miles of fucking Chelsea Handler.
That's my point.
Because you're the guy. And there's a great expression that I heard a long time ago, and it never left me, Patrice. Tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. So when I get asked to do a show, when I find out it's a panel, I go, because the panels, you always wind up with, hey, you know what, we'll get Patrice, we'll get Jay, we'll get Jimmy Norton, and then you wind up with like 3 fucking guys you never heard of, and some chick that was a swimsuit model, and you're like, what am I fucking doing with these people?
They classify you in that position.
That's it. Tell me who you're with.
That's what I'm saying about, that gets to the whole
The Office
crust is that I want to be able to look at BJ Novak and go, you the man. Let me submit to what it's something in me. I'm looking at his face and he can sense
the stain.
Yeah.
But you know,
and I can't hide it, and I try to, so I go, look, let me not get a bad rep, so that when I get like this Charlie Sheen thing, I think that was one of the biggest steps I made in terms of showing people what I do. Meaning in that situation where everyone was doing what they do, you know, Jeff was doing what he does, everybody was doing the thing, and I go on last. The whole situation, they didn't set me up to win. I just kind of was able to. I had to call on 20 years of comedy to be able to win in that.
There's 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth, no one on base, and you said, "Fuck it, I'll drive one in. We'll see what happens from there."
Because Lisa, it was a lot of pressure to do that because I was the only black guy, which goes, oh, okay, interesting. Let me go back. No one knew who the fuck I was. That's what tripped me out. I was so used because I've been doing it in my own world comedy.
Right.
When Seth brings me out as, you know, introduced to Deus, and it's like Patrice O'Neal, everybody.
But that's why.
And I was like, holy shit.
You said earlier you don't want to do it just to do it. That's why you have to do things just to do it, so that the next time you're in a situation like that, people go, that's the guy I saw in The Office. And let me go back to this. Tell me who you're with, I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
When you're hanging around Steve Carell and the BJ Novaks, however you personally perceive them, you know that's the number 1 show on television. And here's what I've learned. And I've been on a lot more sets.
Right.
Okay? Everyone is jealous that we can do comedy. The greatest actor I've sat with Pacino, I've sat with fucking Tom Cruise, and it's like they were sitting next to a 3-legged man with a fucking unicorn horn, because at the end of the day, they knew I was going to the Laugh Factory, and I was standing up in front of people and just talking, and that shit that I wrote. Right. And that fucks, like that, BJ, I don't know, the producers especially, when they get a comic in the fold, you are like this magical guy to them. You especially, because you're untapped. Like, I've been around fucking 3 times. They know my shit. They know my drill. Fucking shit. I did Ghost Whisperer. That paid for my divorce. Like, I was like, one day,
something paid for, that paid for my sneakers up in this motherfucker.
One day I'm gonna get to Hollywood and I'm gonna be number 8 on the call sheet on a Jennifer Love Hewitt paranormal ghost
what you
show.
Want to be, Jay? What is your ultimateness?
I want to make movies that, honestly, I want to like play Chet Baker. I want to play I would love to play Carlin. I would love to play like serious, great dramas.
Now you're waiting for that to be offered to you, or you're going?
No, I
after
audition.
that?
I'll audition for anything.
No, not audition. See, now to me,
Yeah.
I think I realize somehow I have to, and I'm not sure if it matters to you. Somehow I gotta be HNIC. I gotta be, or even close. I know you're not gonna be, but I need to have not just be there. Like, for instance,
Did you know that's Ralphie May's corporate name?
HNIC?
Isn't that great?
Of course. So, I take Billy Gardell, and I like him.
Yeah.
And I love that he has a successful show. He's one of those guys you go, if he don't make it, you feel like, oh man, I want him to make it. I want Voss to make it. I don't want a few people to make it, so make me feel like it's actually, So, you look at that show though, even though he's on it, you could feel, Mike and Molly.
Okay.
So when I look at Billy, I'm not sure I could be him in that show, because it feels like in that show, you know, that he's not being exactly Billy Gardell. He's being the character he wanted, but it's almost like I would, you know, some shows, like even in your show, your show,
Gary and
Married, when I watched it, I had a feel like you weren't the boss on Gary.
No, I was not the boss.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you watched Roseanne, you watched that, and you felt like she was the boss in that show.
But you understand, by Billy Gardell doing Mike and Molly for the next 5 years,
I know.
when he comes out the other end,
Right.
he's got enough credit charged up to the game, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
But
that's what it is.
I feel like he has enough already. I feel like Billy does.
It took me until I said what show, because I didn't know who you're talking about. And I know who he is.
Oh, Billy Gardell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you said it, I'm like,
fair
who's
enough.
Billy Gardell?
But you should know who the fuck Billy Gardell is.
I know, but he's one of those guys I can't.
But you should know. Like, you should know.
I do know now. But what I'm saying is Mike and Molly is when everyone else in America in the flyover states know him, so that when he go, hey,
And
Billy
another thing, why the fuck do we have to be known in Idaho? Why can't you just do a show that caters to the two coasts and some of Texas? Why?
Were you talking about like Nielsen stuff?
There's 4 million people there.
I don't get it.
If you get a 3 on FX, you're a multi-star.
The Wayans brothers got a 2
I don't fucking need Wyoming.
No, you don't.
Why do I gotta get CBS? Is when you gotta be known. That gets you known all over the world.
Yeah. But there's fat white ladies in a mall in the middle of Texas that go, I really enjoyed you on the Gulf Coast Bowl.
Why do I have to be known there? Why not San Francisco, New York, Boston,
I'll tell
Philly,
you why.
and that's it?
Because I'll tell you why. It's all putting more shit in your sack for when you go out to do your own thing, that you don't have to look around and reach out for anything else. Like Billy
Would you want to be Louis C.K.? Meaning, in his position, would you want to, if you had the opportunity?
I think it'd be fascinating. Yeah. And that show.
I'm horrified to do that. Meaning.
Yeah, me too.
Do I think I have the
writing, directing, and if it fails,
crazy about that.
Yeah, and if it fails, like, look, Gary and Mary got canceled. I don't know if you noticed. I've only been a guest star on like 3 shows since that and done stand-up. Failure throws a long shadow. But once you're afraid of failure, you're fucking done. You just gotta get up. Reggie Jackson said to me, personally, and her, he said, I struck out 2,500 times in my career. He goes, if you add that in a row, that's 5 years of baseball. I never touched the ball. He goes, the trick is just don't put the shit in a row.
That's why I hate baseball, by the way.
Right.
There's only one sport where you can
fail 70% of the time.
If you stink 70% of the time, you can go to the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
It stinks. And I talked to Frosty about it and this other kid who loves baseball. In no sport should you be able to fail as much. Cause the payoff, a home run, that's great. So if the other 3 is a home run, out of the 70% you fail, if the other 3 is a home run, that's good. But sometimes the other 3 is a bunt. The other 3 is
pussy single.
The other 3%, it's a
just goes under the guy's mitt.
Man, but listen, when you say afraid of failure, Jay, let me backtrack. I'm not afraid of failure because I'm in this game. My thing is, when I look at Louis, it's not the failure part that makes me nervous. It's like, do I have the work ethic to do what Louis doing? That's what I mean.
Yeah, no,
like,
I don't know.
He's a monster. juggernaut when it comes to that
Yeah.
shit.
And it's a show, don't even worry about it, love. It's a show that thank you though. It's a show that when I watch it, I realize in many lifetimes, I will never do anything as good as Louis doing that right now.
Right.
That episode when he went to the USO tour with the duckling,
Uh-huh.
I fucking cried. When he brought, thank you, sweetie, when he brought out that little duck, when his daughter gave him the duck and he didn't know he had a duck, and cause that was from his blogs on his website. And the forward operating base, when he said to the kid, who's from New York? And the kid goes, I'm from New York. And he goes, where? And he goes, Buffalo. And the kid goes, and Louis goes, that's not New York. Buffalo sucks. And a forward operating base, there's only like 60 cats and they're in the middle of nowhere. And that kid goes, hey man, don't fuck with Buffalo. And Louis wrote, I cried when I read this in Louis' blog.
Okay.
Louis wrote, the kid wasn't challenging me to a fight. The kid was saying, don't fuck with Buffalo because when I get out of this fucking place.
That's all I got.
There's a bedroom in Buffalo. There's a poster of Jim Kelly on the wall.
Right.
That's all there is. That's what's keeping me from putting this fucking gun in my mouth and pulling the trigger is Buffalo. So when you tell me Buffalo sucks, I'm about to we're going to tangle assholes. Why did you leave?
Buffalo does suck though. Fuck that shit. Fuck out of here with that goofy story, Jay.
What? I'm telling you what Louis said.
Crying at that shit.
Let me ask you. No, that was a great episode, man.
Kill himself. But I'm saying, I'm saying.
Why did you leave the office? Did you leave or did they just say that?
No, it wasn't no absoluteness. It was like they asked me to come in one day and I wasn't there and I didn't fly in. No, I didn't. I was in New York and they said, can you come in?
For what?
To just do what I do.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was there like 6 lines?
Right, yeah. I was a 6-line guy. Maybe a 3-line guy.
Yeah. Like the big fat plug guy.
Which was fine.
Yeah. Everyone on the show is though.
Right. I just couldn't do it.
That to me is insane.
I know.
Like I would have done it.
To me it's insane too. But
see, this is the important part of the conversation.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Are you lay in bed at night going, why the fuck didn't I just get on a plane?
No, I don't regret it. Cause I know my insanity. There's some insanity about you that you accept for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. We all have it.
Yeah.
It's just whether you accept it or not.
I accept my,
huh?
Right. So
Vaughn said, obviously I'm insane if I'll suck Chuck Lorre's dick.
Right. Like what makes me insane, what makes people think I'm insane, I accept about myself. Not burning bridges, I've changed a lot about making people feel completely uncomfortable. Sometimes I fuck up and I still do, but I'm better with the things that I think I need to get better at. But I'm not better at the things that I believe in that people think I should get better at.
So acting isn't really something you're like, fuck.
No, the acting process, I just did a movie with a guy, Todd Rohal, Rob Riggle, who he's
Lieutenant Colonel.
Fucking makes me laugh.
Lieutenant Colonel Rob Riggle.
That fucker.
Lieutenant Colonel. He's a Marine Corps.
God damn it.
He was on Gary Unmarried. He played my brother.
Oh, was he on that show?
He's a fucking Lieutenant Colonel in the Marine Corps.
One of my favorite meats in the business.
You know what I said to him? I said, how many times did you go to Iraq? He goes, I haven't been. I go, there's guys in their 4th tour, they're sergeants. You're on a fucking TV set and you're a Lieutenant Colonel, you prick.
That guy, I like that guy.
Like to him. Oh, perfect example.
Right.
Me saying that to him, he's probably going back to his dressing room going, what an asshole.
I don't think he is. Not him.
Right. But anybody around.
Right.
But he knew what I meant. Like, you're sitting here making fucking TV, they make you Lieutenant Colonel, and you know guys, and we all know guys, that, like, they do 3 tours and they come back, they're a fucking sergeant. It's like, how bad was your job over there that you came back a sergeant after 3 tours?
I fuck with him the same way you did. And he knew, he's a guy.
Stupid Kansas Jayhawk fan.
He loves Kansas. I wish I had his numbers I could call and tell him his fucking whole state stings. But he gets context. I like people who get context. I do. I do.
So you shot the movie with Riggle.
I shot it. The Rohal, Riggle, Knoxville, and Patton Oswalt. This movie.
What's it called?
It was called Scoutmaster, but the Scouting of America sued.
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
You can't say Scoutmaster.
You can't do Saturday Night Live sketches about the Boy Scouts. You got to change the name.
You can't. It's untitled Todd Rohal now. But the process, when I finished, after everything was over, I was very happy that I did it. But the process of moving.
But weren't you happy to be done?
I was happy to be done.
But that's what I'm trying to explain to you is everyone's happy to be done. You get to a point on a movie set where you're like, How much fucking longer does it take to shoot Renee Zellweger reacting to Tom Cruise?
So we're talking about the process.
Right. You got to bring a fucking book and take naps.
When I see the process and I'm involved with it, I want to have something to do with the process. So I'm saying, I think I could do what Louis doing.
Right.
Because
I don't know if anybody could do that except
I would have to cut out all the things Louis does. I think I could do editing. Producing I would definitely could do, but
anybody can produce.
I think the writing part.
You seen the fucking idiots hang around a set and call themselves producers?
Yeah. Right, that's what I'm saying.
And when they have ideas, they go, you know what might be funny, Patrice? And you go, really? Why don't the guy that fucking, really? All right. Iowa State graduate, economics major. Why don't you tell the comedian what's funny?
I've only been in New York City for 20 years of my life.
How would I hold the pizza?
Doing shows at the Boston Comedy Club, and like everybody who kills is staring at you. There's 6 crowd members, and then there's 10 comedians that are good in the back room, and you're doing comedy. So you know comedy better than
Tony Woods is sleeping.
Exactly. It's for real?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So
when we did Last Comic Standing, you know, like Barry Katz, love him or hate him, the guy fucking knows stand-up comedy, and he knows comics, and he
gets shows on TV, goddamn.
And he knows the wiring of us. If you're the star of Patrice and Von DiCarlo show, and you're the star, right?
Right.
And you're the star. And when the network comes in and starts doing their shit dance on the two of you, Barry's the guy that can come in and go, you just have to tell them. You got it. Whatever you want, man. And then he will go tell them, look, Patrice, you know, we just flew in. He's with his wife. It's a little emasculating. You bring them down a peg. These are thoroughbreds. They just know how to run and win races. And he gets the DNA of a comic. So when he produces something, you feel like safe, but you get people that come up to you on a set and they go, isn't it funny to hold the pizza in your left hand? And you're like, that's why we're fucking not recording right now? So you'd come up and tell me that, fucking producer guy? You fucking zilch.
You still with Barry?
Yeah, I'm the lone survivor. I'm the guy. It's a marriage. There's ups, there's downs. I love him.
You do love him, right?
I fucking love the guy. Gave a speech at my wedding. You know why? He's the only person that knew her and me before we knew each other.
You know what it is? I don't know why. I mean, I only can go back to a time. I haven't talked to Barry in a long time. Why is he not? What did he do?
I think it's honestly,
because he has show after show after fucking show.
I mean, what did he do to make people?
What's her name leave him? Like, he got this motherfucker something.
Whitney?
And he always gets his show on.
Always.
But see, let me say this right now on your podcast. There's some motherfuckers, like my manager is John Branstein. Okay. Now, nice guy. Nice guy. I love the guy. But I'm like,
so when you fire him, it's Simon Katz.
But I look at Becky, and I look at Katz. And at my level.
Yeah.
That's who guys at my level. You look at Becky, you look at Katz.
But what's funny is guys like Katz, everyone's gone through and left and come back.
What the fuck is going on where...
Like Dane Cook fired Barry Katz.
That's what I'm saying, but
Dane Cook made $9 million telling jokes. And then what? You tell your manager it fucking isn't working out?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
It's that loyalty
Good luck, Chuck.
Or that thing that you go, this motherfucker, I look underneath my mattress, there's a 3 Arts logo. My mattress is fucking.
Here's the problem.
Produced by 3 Arts. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem with being a manager. And this is what I think fortunately for mine and Barry's relationship, I realized this early. The problem with being a manager is the more successful you get, the less your clients need you until it comes completely full circle where you're Whitney Cummings and you have your own show and you're arguing with the network and Barry can go step back. Like when a manager or like a coach on basketball, when a player starts yelling at a ref and the coach puts him behind them and the coach does it, that's what a manager's job. But between getting gigs and doing like improvs and getting your price up and getting your own show, you don't fucking need him at all. He's dead weight.
But you don't care when you have that loyalty thing. But my thing is, I'm getting at this age where I'm battling loyalty, where I'm going, look, man, I'm looking around me, and guys that may have a lesser nice guy reputation there's work.
What is it about cats that people are so quick to badmouth the
You
guy?
know what? It's a reputation.
It's because he's honest?
Dude.
He'll tell you he doesn't think you're
The
funny?
reputation is that he's a scumbag in the game. I don't know. Look, I'm just saying.
I didn't say
It's the
shit.
streets. You got big eyes and shaking your head.
Because I'm like, yeah, well, how?
Exactly.
I'm not getting big. I'm not
Exactly.
defending him. I'm asking.
Why I didn't never fuck with Barry. He was interesting because I was a young new guy. That was Barry's niche.
Yeah.
You know, to get the young talented motherfuckers in.
Yeah.
When I first came, I just didn't like Barry's that the thing you do. I didn't like
You didn't
him.
sign with him because you didn't like
I
his
didn't
voice?
like that he always seemed like he was trying to get in your mind. I didn't like it.
Let me answer that question with a question.
Yeah. Yeah,
But Barry's also a guy, if you go, shut the fuck up, he'll go, fair enough, man.
But Jay, that's the relationship that you have with him, which helps. See, I didn't have that. Barry was very intimidating. He was the guy. He handled you.
You thought he was Dirk Nowitzki.
Yes. Yes. He was fun. He looked just like him too, by the way.
Yeah.
Barry looks just like Dirk Nowitzki.
And he's 6'7".
Like Dirk.
And he's up there in height, so people freak out.
I used to feel like he used to try to be a guru with me, but
He was trying to be a
But
guru.
I avoided him when he did. Now I'm at a place where I could go, Barry, listen, just shut the fuck up. But back then, I was new, and I was like, you see, he had Red Johnny, he had Keith, he had Juan, he had you, he had everybody who was somebody in the game in New York. Chappelle. So, that's the story I heard. The Chappelle story with him. That's the one I could go back and go, this is what I heard. Whether it's true or not.
I'd like to hear about it.
Dave's dad died. This is what I heard. And again.
I think I've heard this too, but I want to hear
Dave's dad died in
Ohio.
Yeah. And Dave's canceled all his upcoming shows.
You're canceling your shows just because your dad died?
Exactly.
That's the story?
No.
Oh.
And what he did was Dave canceled all the shows, and then he told Barry, I can't do these things. And then Dave, again, this is speculation, and this is what I heard on the street.
But one of my famous quotes, word on the street is word on the street.
Word on the street is word on the street.
It's more powerful than a printing press.
Let's be honest, though. Stop acting like fucking that word on the street don't count, because you're from the street, so word on the street does.
I'm saying it like it's the most reliable.
It's the most reliable. Okay.
If you go to school and they go, Chauncey's looking for you, guess what? Chauncey's looking for you.
Right.
If you read the paper and they go, this might happen,
right.
But you know from going to public school, you show up and they go, ooh, Anthony said, and you're like, wow, and you all day, you knew that motherfucker was going to come out and hit you in the face.
Yep.
Because someone just said it.
So the word
on the street is word on the street.
Was that Dave was mourning, pulled out. Barry didn't cancel the gigs. He waited until it got too close to cancel.
Right.
And then he said, Dave can't do it. Can you use Jay?
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Whoever it was. And so Dave's in the street. He didn't know about it. So Dave goes and somebody sees him walking around and goes, Dave, man, why didn't you show up to fucking wherever university, man? We loved you, man. You just didn't show up. They had to go watch this other guy. He goes, I canceled that shit years ago, you know? And Barry never canceled
I can see Barry. I mean, it is fucking diabolical.
That's a shitty.
But I can also see a manager saying, like, in the back of his mind, like, what if he needs this to come around? Because Barry didn't need Dave's fucking 10% of University of Milwaukee.
There's always some way to.
But those 10% add up. I guess.
There's always a way to make it look like. But
and
the
Barry had nothing
thing
to.
Was when you asked me that.
Right.
That the framing of it is that he was a scumbag. The framing of it.
It seems to me too like Barry. He's a guy that he's very polarizing.
But the thing of
people will fucking
if he's this way, you go like this. This is the motherfucker that like me who's having trouble with the whole system. I have a guy that I love as a person, but are we getting as many things as we can get? And I start going through this, and you go, wait a minute. If everybody feels Barry is this dude that is some scumbag,
Right.
why are they doing so much business with him? Like he gets business done.
Right.
Or Becky, he gets shit done. He gets.
I've never heard anybody say Dave Becky was a scumbag.
I've heard bad things about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The only guy,
it's all bullshit. It's
Bernie
all,
Brillstein's the only guy that died without a negative thing said about him.
Right.
You
Never heard nothing about Brillstein. Always, even Raph, the guys at my level that I would know. I never even heard that much anything really about Messina. I actually like
He's a
him
fucking
lot.
crazy person. I went to his house because he has a wiffle ball tournament at his house, and I grew up playing wiffle ball every day. And I went in there with a chip on my shoulder, like, man, I'm gonna fucking school these fucking Dungeons and Dragons zeros at this fucking wiffle ball. And he had a wiffle ball stadium, and they hyped it to me. Like, you gotta go, wiffle ball stadium. And you wiffle ball is supposed to be like Bugs Bunny, like 3 miles an hour and his big looping curveballs and shit.
Right.
These motherfuckers tape the ball and just throw it as hard as they fucking can. And you're holding that little plastic bat, and I'm going, and now I'm the new guy. I'm the interloper. I'm the brand new guy in this Patton Oswalt, David Cross world. I'm the jock. You know what I mean? And I'm the guy going, this isn't how you fucking play. They've been playing this every day for 4 years, and I show up going, what the fuck? You don't fucking tape the ball. What the fuck? And I was just out in the streets. And I'm like, this would be so much more fun if it was.
You came in that bitch like.
I was ready, bro.
You came in that bitch with your mind.
And a motherfucker alive will beat me wiffle ball. I said that at Super Bowl last year at Radio Row, and this guy from Dallas was wearing a fucking wiffle ball champion T-shirt. Ben and Skin is this radio show in Dallas, and he challenged me, and we cleared out a fucking banquet room. And this, I just hit him. It was crazy. And he had to go on the radio, and everybody just called and made fun of him because they filmed it and they go, we'll put it on YouTube. Your humiliation. I said, all right. It was like fucking Roy Jones and James Toney's talking shit to him. When did you know you were funny? When did you know you wanted to do comedy? I didn't mean to stump you. Jesus. The look on your face.
Seriously?
Yeah.
17.
17?
Like dead ass, and then it took till I was 22 to do it. So I talked myself out of it for 5 years. I just didn't do it, and finally I did it at 1992. But at 17, I wanted to start.
Are you going to start talking yourself into shit?
I do. You gotta understand, dude. You're talking to
Is that true?
a different dude.
Is he a different dude now where he talks himself into shit as opposed to talking himself out of shit?
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm better at that.
You're too fucking good to be a guy on the shelf. You can't be like the guy on the bench because the coach doesn't know you're there. You gotta be the guy to get on the plane and go do the office. You're too fucking funny. And you have a presence that's too...
I'm way better than I used to be, though.
And you're way better. Here's the other thing. And
In terms of attitude, way better.
This is going to sound cocky as all fuck, but we both know it's the reason we're in the business.
Okay.
You see guys on Star Search and Evening at the Improv and you go, I'm better than these motherfuckers.
Right.
You know when you go and do these shows, you can kill them. You can crush them. Do me a fucking favor, and the next time they ask, get on the fucking airplane and do the show. Because you're too good not to do it. And when you do it, all those people splinter off into their other shows, and all it takes is one out of those 14 bullshit producers to get two broke girls and go, hey, you know who'd be a great super? I don't know if it's super.
I felt
you know
that.
who can play Bookman?
Bookman. The new Bookman.
He wouldn't do Bookman.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying.
He didn't have to suck anybody's dick, and for the money, who cares?
The Charlie Sheen roast was a big step in that
Huge.
direction. Because my instinct usually is to say, get the fuck out. But like I said, the instinct to say no is always there with a reasoning that could make sense. Like I didn't do Flavor Flav roast because I didn't do it because of, I didn't know him. So I decided to do, the Charlie Sheen roast helped me in that terms. But I'm a lot better with that than I was a long time ago. I will give myself credit for that. So,
what's the weirdest celebrity that you've met that you were surprised they knew who you were?
Slash.
Really?
Yeah, Slash is a fan.
And he knew you from
He knew
Tough
me
Crowd?
from Stuff. He just
Stuff.
Yeah, he just knew me already. So that was very interesting.
And where'd you guys bump into each other?
At the roast.
Oh, really?
Yep. Slash.
Who
Slash
took a
was
shot at Slash? It was someone had a great night at Slash.
Oh, Jesus, Charlie and Seth. They were just talking about his old music. They basically was fucking with him because
And I love Jeselnik out of nowhere. I don't know where he came from, but he made me laugh on the last roast before Charlie Sheen.
that's what and that's what
And then
killed
when
me.
you say you called him a waiter from medieval times.
Yeah, just like, get my fucking turkey leg, motherfucker. Who are you? Where I'm from, who are you? But when he was introducing them in that world.
And that's all, but that's because the last roast.
Yes!
Did you see him?
No!
Bro, he hit that shit so hard. His lines, Jeff Ross has been doing roast longer than Whitney Cummings was a glint in the eye of the guy that gang raped her mother. He said shit that was so, and a guy you don't know, hey, the situation is here. You know, if you spend as much time reading as you did chasing skanks, you wouldn't have AIDS. And people are going, who the fuck is this guy? It was crazy. So
It was Anthony.
so the next time you do a roast, now on the podcast, I'm saying it out loud. You have to do the next roast. You have to.
That's the place they put you.
No, it's the place that they need you. And now the people that didn't know who you were, that saw you take out Shatner and saw you take out Jeselnik and do that fucking Hanna-Barbera run at Seth MacFarlane. Like now those people are going to go, okay, good. This is a good roast because they're going to say, these people are here. He's here. He's here. Now you're the guy. Patrice is here.
Right.
Like now you have to do the roast and you got to talk yourself into realizing that that's why it's step.
I agree. I can't disagree.
The
with
next
that.
roast, if they're roasting fucking, Peter Brady, just go and just fucking blow him up and get out of there.
Jay, 5 years ago, I tell you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
On that. I don't want to hear it, but
You can tell
I've
me that
changed.
too.
No.
You and I have always had an odd be quiet from day one. I don't know what it was.
That's funny. An odd, be quiet.
It's true though. I'm like up in Boston and Steve Cato and doing those weird fucking
An odd, be quiet.
an odd be quiet.
I will say,
shush.
I'm saying I'm a lot more open to thinking that because I don't want to be just a martyr in this game. Like, all the things that I could have been, and you got to watch this YouTube thing. Wow, I want to enjoy the business. I just know what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I want to be happy too. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just make a bunch of money.
If the roast doesn't particularly make you happy, you have to now compartmentalize and realize it's now a job, one of many jobs that you do, and check that box. You are now in the roast. You're in that little group of people.
Fair enough.
That people go, I know it's going to be. Jeff Ross is like this royalty in roasts, and you're as funny as Jeff Ross. You know what I mean?
But wouldn't you?
And Jeselnik.
But wouldn't you?
And Jeselnik
Let me
is
ask you
not.
this. Let me ask you this, and not as far as fear of anything, but you go, whoa, Jay Moore fucking. Oh, the roast, 17 years straight. You do the roast. Isn't there a place where, like, you hosted the NHL award?
Motherfucker, you're on 2.
Like, you hosted the NHL award.
But we're not talking about 17 years. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
You hosted the NHL award.
Yeah.
And you did well both times.
Yeah.
Isn't there a third time where you go, let me just let them.
No. I'm like a fucking dog with a toy in its mouth. That's my fucking job. And no one's taking that shit from me. I'm like a pitcher that don't want to come out of the game.
Let them have enjoyed the moment.
That's where the money comes in as well. Why should I give this fucking checkup? This is a night of my life. And I talk for 10 minutes. And I get a check. I hang around with these people. Everyone enjoys what I do. Why would I release that to let some douchebag come in and do it?
See, that's where
why?
I don't know. I can't argue with that because your money out of all this interview, what you motivated by dough.
But here's what you also have to understand. This year, I've had 4 jobs where I made no money. I don't make any money from the podcast, And the podcast.
But I tell you what, money's on the way. Mentally, you're investing something so that money can. But if this podcast is useless to you.
What do you want me to say, Patrice? Vision. It's such a long sight. It's not short-sightedness.
Right.
And you got to take the long sight. The blogging for the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I didn't make any money for that. But do I do it? Go, I just want to write a blog? No, I write it because I go, hey, maybe housewives that watch the Real Housewives will come to my shows. Because ultimately, everything you and I are doing, I would guess, is to get more people in the rooms where we are our absolute selves.
I agree. I'm out.
Thanks, Patrice. I love you, sweetie.
Thanks, man.
Say some like nice goodbye thing.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Now let me ask you this: Did this feel at any time like you and I were working?
No, because we both talk. I love talking.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to get your own podcast up and running. And just
I'll
by
tell you
leaving
this
your
right
house,
now. I'll tell you this right now.
Break it.
If I end up with a podcast, if I have a podcast, it's going to be, not that you wanted this, but I'm going to say this, it will be directly attributed to Jay Moore. Good. And I'll say why.
No, once you stand up, you're out, motherfucker.
Yeah, but I'm going to say why.
He stood up on the table.
I'm on, I think, one end of the spectrum. There's a middle, and I think you're on the other end of the spectrum in terms of you have a lot of philosophy on why to do it. I have a lot of philosophy on why not to do it.
Yeah.
In things in general. So what you're saying, your conviction on why to do it is interesting. And not just a podcast, just anything. Where you go, why not do that? Because my idea is, why do another roast? I did well on this one. Why bother to do the next thing that I really don't want to do anyway? But you have an interesting scope on why to do it.
You have to do the next roast. Because now people that didn't know who you were, I mean, what the fuck are we in this business for? To fill rooms.
Right, but don't forget, I got in this business. Now I go, look, I tell people funny is different than comedy. And I didn't realize that shit till 10 years in. That I did it because I was a funny motherfucker, and I just thought, I didn't think about what you were going to be. I didn't get in this to be a star. I got in it because I wasn't a good employee. I just thought there was a way to do comedy. I just thought funny goes to comedy. Right. Then you realize funny ain't comedy. You realize it's business. And so I was trying to find that place where, you know, because I'm self-destructive, even in my life, I go, let me find a way to be really, really funny and a really good comic. I wanted to be everything. And that's where the happiness was coming in. So I do want money, Jay. I do want fame and all that bullshit that I seem to begrudge, but I wanted, there's gotta be a place to just do it. So it's more things that I want to do than more things that I don't want to do. But I'm good at it.
The things you want to do are a direct result of an accumulation of the things maybe you didn't really feel like doing. But when you do enough of them together and Slash knows you from stuff, think of all that stuff you didn't feel like fucking doing. But like Slash ain't a producer or like a director. Right. And the more shit you cobbled together, and you do want to do the roast. It's not like you go, I don't want to fucking do a roast. I know if the roast was downstairs in this hotel and me and you could just get on the elevator right now and do it, we'd be fucking doing it in 2 seconds.
Fair enough.
Right?
Right. I mean, to a degree.
But to what you said you want to do, to be like Patrice O'Neal, Anderson Cooper, Jon Stewart, it's the accumulation of all these things that gets you the credit and the industry cred, the street
Maybe I'm
cred.
confused, like it was the old time Johnny Carson where you could do one good thing and then
that
boom.
Shit's over.
You know what I'm saying? You could do something and show people that you could do it.
Nope.
Because I noticed after the roast, I've been in the game for a while. People know, you know, my pedigree, but still it was almost like people that already knew I was a good comic was going, now you're a good, now, like they create things that are official. Even though I did the elephant in the room, I'm very proud of that. I like to present that as who I am. Right. As a comic and what I think.
Most of the people in the world don't see each thing we do. So you have to do
a whole
as
bunch
many
of shit.
things as possible to keep that pie chart filling up with people that know who you are.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and you'll get Louis has autonomy. That is the craziest shit you could have, more than money.
Right.
Like when we were doing more sports, for some reason they let us do whatever we wanted. It was great.
But wasn't that one of the best, your favorite things you ever did?
Yeah, but I got fucking paid.
Yeah, but wasn't that one of your favorite things
Absolutely.
you ever did?
You want to know why?
Because that's your
Because I went
shit.
to Michael Eisner and I told him the idea for a show, and he goes, "Sounds great. Who do I call?" And we were like, it was me and Katz.
But
us.
I know the
we had,
accumulation, but wouldn't you?
But the
You
percentage,
seem to love that show.
the percentage of people that know me from that show is less than.
But wait a minute, that's what I'm saying. You at the other end, though, Jay. I'm saying for your spirit, that show. Even though no little people know. Wouldn't you love to just stay doing that show?
I would have done it for 10 years.
And even if it didn't get you your accumulation, it got your, this is what I enjoy.
Yes.
So how many people know me from Tough Crowd? I don't know. But what we did was what was tapping into what I would love to do all the time.
Yeah. And people love you on Tough Crowd. You know that.
Right.
Okay. You now have a responsibility to check off as many of those boxes as possible so that the next time there's a Tough Crowd or a Patrice O'Neal or a Jon Stewart.
And you have a responsibility to who?
To your audience that's going to watch that show that could be 10 years from now, 5 years from now, that when that opportunity comes up, you have to be in the conversation of the three motherfuckers that could possibly do this job.
Right.
They're going to go, it could be Craig Kilborn, or it could be this guy. And then somebody goes, Patrice O'Neal, and everybody in the room goes, ooh, that would be fucking great if we could get Patrice. And if no one goes, from what? Where's he from? They go, oh, the fucking roast, Tough Crowd, and you just build all that shit up. And you just hand in this fucking wheelbarrow of you, and you dump the shit in the office and you walk out, and they talk about you after you leave. You create a problem for them. Your name has to come up.
I just realized something.
What?
I'm lazy. That sounds like too much work.
Patrice O'Neal, ladies and gentlemen. Put your name on it.